All right, listen up. Welcome back, man. We are here on a new platform, man. We kept telling y'all we was gonna try to keep getting better. We had to disappear just so we could come back, step up. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else out there, step back. It's our time. You know what I mean? But I've been waiting a long time to say this, y'all. A really long time. But you could have been anywhere in the world, but you here with us, the I Stand on That podcast crew, for some real conversation, man. Uh, Listen, my mama taught me a long time ago, man. Don't ever try to be the man that introduces everybody because you're gonna make mistakes. So I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves, but you already know what it is. This is your boy Gary J. Harrington, author, pen extraordinaire. I will eviscerate your ass in fiction kind of cat. Follow me at gjh.writerscramp. You see the tag. You see the tag. If I get my big finger in the right spot, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Daily Insight, talk to him.
Listen, man. It's your boy, Mr. Daily Insight, Mr. Inspiration, Mr. Life Coach, Mr. You know what I mean, Mr. Extraordinaire. You know what I mean, Mr. 305. You know what I mean. Y'all recognize. Listen, y'all follow me on all platforms: TikTok jumping, Instagram jumping, Mr. underscore Daily Insight. Follow me on YouTube as well, man. Y'all check me out. So y'all gonna be in store for something, man. So I'm getting excited to get started with season 3.
Yo, you already know what time it is, man. It's David. It's Hard Road. It's Deep Eyes. It's all of that, man. Y'all know me. I'm an attorney. I'm a fashion designer. And I'm just out here trying to make moves and trying to make plays and trying to push the culture forward. So, folks, I'm really happy to be back. I'm happy to be back on this platform to put the changes out there, not even changes, really to speak on what's been going on since we've last aired. Folks, a lot has happened. A lot has happened. A lot has taken place. We lost some people. We lost some great people. A lot of good things have happened as well, but there's a lot of controversy in the world as well too. So, a lot of what we used to, a lot of what we not used to. Well, we're gonna speak on that. We're gonna speak on that. I stand on that podcast. We're back. We're live. We're here to stay. Let's get it.
You already know what it is, man. So listen, there's gonna be some new things. You're gonna see some new people. There's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot for y'all to really kind of tap into. A lot of reasons for y'all to vibe with us. Uh, but I would tell you this: I don't think anybody gonna talk about these relationship topics like we do. I
Because
don't
we
think
do
they're gonna do
numbers.
it like we do.
We do numbers. Like Boosie say, we do numbers. And if we would have stayed
Always,
consistent, if we would have stayed consistent with
always.
this, you know what I mean, it would have been crazy. But we back better than ever.
Come on, man.
So we back better than
Come
ever, baby.
on, man. Be for real. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? Like Boosie say, can't nobody fuck with R. Kelly. You know what I mean? Uh,
Straight up. Straight up.
not in
Straight
those
up.
verses. They can't fuck with R. Kelly. Uh,
What? Not facts. That's a
listen,
fact.
listen. Everybody, listen. We're not gonna make this a topic, but I'm just gonna say,
Please don't.
everybody can hate if they want to, right? Listen, I just heard some true facts, and listen. Based on what I can tell, it was truth. I mean, I'm still doing some research, but word on the street is, dude, R. Kelly had determined that he didn't own any of his masters. They had determined that his catalog was worth $950 million,
What you mean
and
he
no
didn't
lie,
earn? Wait. What you mean he didn't own his
he didn't
masters?
know. He didn't know that he didn't own all of his masters.
Mm.
He didn't know. And
Boy.
so when he started to make the move so that he could go ahead and get ownership of his masters, they are now saying that that is what caused people to start to come for him. The same way they came for Prince when he wanted his masters. The same way they
Yeah.
came for MJ when he came for his masters. Right?
Yeah.
They said it was just too much money. He was worth too much. And for him to realize he was worth that much, it was like, wait, hold on, we got a problem. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I ain't never gonna excuse like what he did. It is what it is, based on the facts of it. I think that a lot of people were uh willing participants in all of that, right? But I think parents involved, everybody. But we got to also be able to separate the art from the artist. You know what I'm saying?
A
And
lot
we
of
also
people
got to
can't
be
do
able to
that.
separate the artist from the person.
But that's the whole thing, though. It's like everybody, not to cut you off, but that's just what it is. People look
Cut
at,
me
oh,
off.
he did this. Yeah, I did. Anyways, cool.
No,
But
I'm
listen,
saying I want you to cut me off. Say it, baby.
so the whole thing is, the missus is like, listen, you still listen to that music? It's music. That's just all it is, entertainment. But what about the music that you were listening to? Seems like you're ready. He talking about a young girl. 17, 13, 14, 15, whatever the age is. Aaliyah, we want to throw her name out there. She was young, 14,
But
15,
listen,
Arthur was messing with her. You get what I mean?
yeah,
So
but
it's hard,
hey,
it's
but
hard to
listen,
kind of, you get what I mean? So,
but hold on now. Listen, the word on the street is R. Kelly was messing with Aaliyah and her mama. He was sleeping with both of them.
Yeah, that's
really,
crazy.
I ain't hear about the mom. You just springing some new stuff on me right now. So
I'm listening because I've been looking at a lot of stuff, because if you really look at it, a lot of people don't realize R. Kelly was listen, they just hit R. Kelly with a RICO. Now they coming after Young Thug and Gunna. Listen, they used R. Kelly as the primary example of how I'm going to utilize your music against you. How I'm going to utilize your platform against you.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm just saying, I think that there's some I don't think it's a coincidence that out of nowhere R. Kelly get hit. Now Young Thug and Gunna getting hit, right? And you and we all know, you and I both know, listen, at the end of the day, they gonna come after as many people as they can, and they use the sex stuff for MJ with the little boys, right? They had all kinds of things that they were trying to come at Prince with. They couldn't touch him. At the end of the day, when they want to get you, they're gonna try to find creative ways. I think this is that new way, because here's the reality: Elvis married a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, but nobody want to talk about that though and bring that up. Is it because of the skin color?
Well, listen, when Elvis did it, it definitely was. I ain't gonna say it is right now, but when Elvis did it, it definitely was. No questions.
I don't know nothing about
I thought
that.
you were gonna cut in. I'm sorry, but to
No,
me, listen, there's no question that there's no question that certain people have favor and others don't, right? And there's no question that at some point in time that favor was an anti-melanin movement. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
A lot of people have. Listen, Donald Trump got favored in the middle of the anti-melanin movement, right? So that's all I'm saying, right? It was the anti-melanin movement, at least from where I could see. So, the bottom line is, listen, we all know how it goes down. Just like how Donald Trump was allowed to get away with putting an ad in the paper for the Central Park Five, trying to get these teenagers basically the death penalty, right? It is what it is. We all use our favor in different ways, and we gain it in different ways. Some of us get it easier than others. Listen, Kels had his favor, and don't get it twisted. Boosie did an interview with Vlad TV, and Boosie was talking about how R. Kelly was playing with them young girls' minds, and he was using his fame, his wealth, right, his quality of life as a way to get these women to be infatuated with him and let him do whatever he wanted to do. But listen, Boosie said it. You can't say he kidnapped somebody when he left them in the studio for 3 weeks by themselves. They could have left.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Speak on it, DA.
Yeah, there's a difference when it comes to that, because we're speaking about on matters of law, right? And so, just generally speaking, if the person has reason to believe that their movements are restricted, there's an argument that can be made that they are being kidnapped, right?
Listen, and DA, I don't want to, and I'm glad you said that, because I don't want to overstep by not at least acknowledging the fact that, of course, right? Listen, we have seen examples of people being kidnapped and they were so afraid for their own lives that they didn't move, even when they could have, right? So listen, for legal purposes, yes. Here's what it is hard to believe, in my personal opinion, that they were chained to the walls in the studio and being served porridge until he was ready to have sex with him, right? Like, I just don't think, I think that's the narrative that they keep painting, the picture they want us to believe.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it was necessarily that. I think that there's a lot more dirt in the details, right?
Of course.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna just say this: I got 2 daughters, so I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 daughters. I'm not okay with it. But does that mean I'm never gonna play "Step in the Name of Love" again?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that I when people say that, I think it's worth noting, or it's worth asking the question, if it was David Duke and he played a song that you like, he was a singer that you like, would you play his songs even though he's a known avowed racist? You know what I'm saying? So I think when people say that joke, sometimes I think we got to be very mindful that I think sometimes we like to laugh it off as it's not as serious, but I think it is serious. You know what I mean? When you have child predators, and I think it's worthy. If someone wants to not listen to the music of a child predator, no one, I think that is worthy of being taken seriously. You know what I mean? Because who wants to say that, some of their favorite artists or some of their favorite music is from someone who molested children? You know what I'm saying? And when you put it in that context, that's when it's like, you know what? I think we need to actually take more seriously. I think the reason why a lot of times, people like to laugh it off is because they can compartmentalize R. Kelly as an artist, and they can separate R. Kelly as an artist from R. Kelly as a person. You see what I'm saying? And that's your prerogative. That's a value statement. That says everything. That has to say a lot. That says a lot about you than it does anything else that you want to compartmentalize. Now the question presented is, what does it say? You know what I mean? I personally don't go out of my way to listen to R. Kelly. I don't go out of my way.
Why so? You don't like any of his music? I'm kind of curious why you don't. I'm curious.
I say I don't go out of the way. You know what I mean? I don't go out of the way. If it's happened to be played in my vicinity while I'm around, I'm not going to be the guy that says, "Hey, turn that shit off." And I don't want to hear that in my ears. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
If I don't want to hear it, I'll leave. And if I don't mind hearing it, I'll tolerate it.
Hold on. I got a messy question. I got a real messy question
but I don't go out of my way to go listen to R. Kelly.
Hold on. I got a real messy question.
That's what it is.
So let's say hypothetically, right? Let's say 3-4 years ago. Let's say 9 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, with this chick, you know what I mean? Y'all finna get into the mood. Y'all finna get, you know what I mean? Y'all finna get, Y'all finna get into the business, right?
Yeah.
And she decides she has the playlist, because back in the day, everybody knows, especially my Florida people, y'all had playlists when y'all got down busy in that bedroom. We all had them fucking playlists, right? So,
extended play.
Exactly. So DA, that's tape, CDs, all that. So DA, you in the bedroom with this young lady, and she's got a R. Kelly all-time hits at the moment, playing the music. Are you finna cut the music off?
I mean, I think it's not fair to ask me that question because I don't. No, check me out. I don't play their music. I don't play whatever a woman wants to play. I don't. I mean, this is probably getting into too much inside baseball here, but I don't play. I play my music. You know what I'm saying? I play my music because shit, I'm the fucking performer. So I play. I play my music, you right? Because when it's all said and done, they're not gonna ask her how did she do. They're gonna ask me how did I do. You know what I mean? So when the reporter asks me how did you do that game, I'm playing my music if I'm gonna play my game. You know what I mean? But so that's the first and foremost. But I'll be honest with you, and I don't have a problem openly admitting this. I don't play R. Kelly in my playlist, but Tory Lanez is in there. Okay? And some people are going to feel how they feel about Tory Lanez. Some people are going to find that to be comparable. I don't think that's comparable. You're right? But some people will have a problem with the fact that I want to listen to Tory Lanez while I'm shifting gears, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So, so if you catch me, but other people would be like, hey. But in that moment, I play my music.
So basically,
I don't go out of my way.
So to round out, I want to make this concrete. So to kind of step back. So what you're saying is she playing it, you gonna turn it off, or you gonna switch to Tory Lanez that you just said?
No, okay. Let's say I have no control over sound. Then I'm gonna tolerate it for the time being. And
that's all. Okay, that's all I was saying.
People,
all right, I got my answer.
Spank. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to know. I had to get messy real quick since I'm not gonna go out of my way. So going out of your way is like
I don't go out of my way to listen to people who abuse children. I just don't do that.
Cool. All right. You stand on that.
I stand on it.
All right. So there you have it.
Wow. Abuse children. DA, you're a lawyer, right? You're an attorney. You should know how damaging that statement is without context.
Yeah.
I mean,
abuse children.
He said.
I mean, what's your definition of abuse? Because you get what I'm saying? Because that depends on your definition of abuse. Because when you use your power, check me out. When you use your power over someone, right? That has a reason to, especially a child has a reason to accede to that power, and you take advantage of them. I don't care whether or not you paid them. I don't care if you're paying their mom. I mean, the whole situation is messy. Let's make that very clear. That all of it is disgusting stuff. You know what I mean? It's pathetic. It's like, imagine, in your high school yearbook, they wrote most likely to offer up their child to child predators, and your name was it was your face above that. You know what I'm saying? That's just deplorable. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, when I look at the situation, I don't go out of my way to listen to someone like R. Kelly. And then R. Kelly, in his position as an artist, multi-millionaire, worldwide fame, he's offering and giving promises of a career to children, to their parents. And they see.
Were you in the room with him?
I mean, is that not? Are those not the facts?
I have no idea if he offered careers to. I mean, I have no idea.
What reason did they have to be there? Why would they be in a recording studio with him?
Bro, listen, it's R. Kelly, and I know you may not understand it. What I could tell you is, being around women who have a strong affinity for who R. Kelly is, just being in his presence. Listen, he didn't have to deceive anybody to have sex with him. Now that doesn't mean he didn't do it.
But he wasn't. But we're not having a conversation about consensual. We're not having a conversation.
It was
about
definitely consensual.
No, check me out. We're not having a conversation about consensual sex between adults. We're not having that conversation. We're talking about the reason why he's behind bars, and that was whatever he thought he was doing
because
with
of
children,
a trumped up RICO charge that was crazy.
With children.
No, bro. Listen. So here's what I'm saying. You're telling me, and this is listen. I might as well go there because you done brought it. You done brought it to the table. So here we go, nigga. I hope you're ready. So listen, are you telling me that a 16-year-old can't determine who she wants to have sex with?
She can, but
I'm
she's
just
still
asking
a minor.
you a question.
She's a minor.
It's a yes or no answer. It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
Bro, we're talking about minors here, bro.
I just asked you a question.
Children. So we're asking. So the question is, can a child determine who they want to have sex with? That's what you're asking.
No, I didn't say a child. I said a 16-year-old.
Are 16-year-olds not children?
16 and up.
Are 16-year-olds not children? So I just want to understand, are 16-year-olds not children?
I mean, I would call him a teenager, but whatever you want to call
Are
him.
teenagers children?
I don't know. Depends on who you talking to.
Wow, we're really having this debate right now.
Hey, G-Man.
We're really having.
Hold on for that. Hold on.
That's kind of crazy.
Being the middleman, the powers that be, United States, whatever, they will say terminology wise, you're not an adult.
Right,
they say 18,
but here's what I'm saying.
So
here's what I'm saying.
We're talking about the United States. We're not talking about.
No. I understand that, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the law itself, right? The fact that what we're saying is that a 16-year-old, right, in some countries is walking around toting a gun, killing people who come into their country, right? 16-year-olds. No. Listen, we talking about people. We're not talking about you. Listen, you can restrict it to the country if you want. I'm talking about people, right?
Well, it's the laws of this country that have him behind jail.
And in this country, women were getting married at younger than 16.
And in this country, they threw his ass in jail because. And listen, and so here's where you and I are gonna diverge paths, right? I believe, right, that there is favor. I believe that there is favor in the unmelanated individual, especially when it comes to our court system. And what I mean by that is this: Roman Polanski. This dude can literally make movies, even though he's done worse than what R. Kelly ever did, right? What's the dude from Seventh Heaven? Got a whole journal full of confessions about how he slept with little boys. What did they do to him? Nothing. He deserves punishment. They didn't get it.
But no. But in the same country, he didn't get it.
Yes.
In the same country. So what I'm saying is, right, I have reason to believe that I don't need to trust that they're doing what's in the best interest of anyone other than what they want.
Well, G,
talk about it.
We don't try these cases in the court of opinion.
Yes, we do. Absolutely, we do.
No,
that's
we
why
don't.
we have cancel culture.
No, we don't.
That's why we have cancel culture.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't try these
cancel
cases.
culture.
You get two different verdicts.
Try these
you
cases.
Get two different verdicts.
We try these cases in the court of law.
Bro, NBA YoungBoy just got acquitted, right? He just got acquitted. And he was tried in both courts.
But check me out. Just because someone gets away with a crime doesn't mean that the crime is still not a crime. Now, we can have a separate discussion about the disparities between white and black folks in the United States as it pertains to the law. But as it pertains to the letter of the law, as it pertains to the letter of the law, he was found in violation.
Yes, according to not according to the letter of the law, according to what the DA presented and what the jury chose to believe. Here's what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here.
Well, the jury still had to make the jury still had to decide on the basis of the law.
And ain't nobody on that jury a lawyer.
When they hand the jury the rule,
nobody on that jury has a legal background or a legal understanding of the law.
When they have the instructions, when they say here.
Hey, what did they tell you in law school, DA? Reasonable minds will differ, huh?
Civil minds will differ.
Okay, so then listen. How about we do this? Because this is what I want to do. I want to talk about what we actually got over here to talk about real quick. Because I want to get this content.
Let's go.
Can we do that?
Yeah, that's
right.
Let's roll.
You ain't got to listen to R. Kelly, and I'm gonna keep playing him at the cookout. I don't give a.
I'm a tear it up. That joint with Future, boy, you playing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but go ahead, man. Go ahead with the pressing, baby. Go ahead.
You know what I mean? I wish to the homies we lost. You know, Gotham City. Listen, Gotham City.
Hey, I'm not gonna hold you. The Best of Both Worlds was one of my favorite albums. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that album was crazy.
You know,
and listen, and when him and Jay-Z had beef, I was like, yeah, I gotta say that maybe Jay probably on the writer side of this one, because I know R&B cats is a little different, you know. So
yeah,
listen, I'm not saying that. Listen, I am not saying that I think that anything that R. Kelly has done is right or wrong. What I'm saying is that I don't trust our justice system. I still think it's the best one in the world, but I don't trust it because I know it wasn't built for us.
That's another topic. Yeah. But
Oh, absolutely. But I can tell you that if it was an all-inclusive justice system where it was written really to truly protect and serve everybody, it would be the best one in the world. The problem is that the people that are in the system are imperfect.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I stand on. How about that? How about the perfect system is dealing with imperfect pieces, right, to run it. And that's the reason why we got our issues. But what we actually came on here to talk about, and listen, are you ready? Are you ready?
However do you want it? However do you need it? However do you want it? However do you need it? Yeah.
So here's where we are.
Yeah.
Why do imperfect women, this is the question, right? Why do imperfect women get to openly require perfect men? Why do they get to sit there and have these conversations and these standards when we know and they know that the imperfections exist within them, right?
Let me
listen, here's
he's ready. He ready to fire off.
I'm talking about this. I'm talking, right? Listen, I'm talking about the fact that how is it that a woman, right? And listen, Kevin Samuels was already tapping into this, right? R.I.P. I don't care who is who and what is what you believe. I don't believe in celebrating nobody's death, right? You know, that man was trying to contribute to society, and whether y'all want to believe it or not, most of his viewers were women. So y'all can say he was a hate person or whatever else, but he was actually helping some people. But the reality is this. Here's where we are, man. We are living in a world where a woman who can have 2 kids from 2 different baby daddies could demand the fact that they want a high-value man, a man making $100,000 a year or more, right? And even that, right? Listen, I've heard women say, listen, if you got a job, I don't want you. I'm trying to be with an athlete, an entrepreneur, somebody who got major money, major this, major that. And not just that. They don't want just a rich man. They want a rich man that reads poetry, massages their feet, cook dinner, wash dishes, does the laundry, folds the clothes.
Lay it down in the bedroom.
Right. And listen, and then can go in there and pump it out for 2 hours. When he's still waking up at 3 a.m. every day trying to go out there and get this bread. And so I can't understand the logic of how someone with such imperfections could ever demand perfection on the other side reasonably, right? I got a real issue with that. I got an issue with the fact that people don't understand that, listen, you can get a man that's going to treat you well and be there with you, right? But you got to give up something, right? There's only 100% is 100%. You got to circle, right? There's only so much pieces of the pie. It got to be split up some kind of way.
Geometry.
Right? Facts. So at the end of the day, if I'm putting 90% of my energy into making money, I'm probably going to be extremely wealthy. But 90% of my energy goes into making that bread. Right? Which means you might get the other 10% if I'm not trying to get the other 5 to my homies or my mother or whoever. Facts. Right?
It's a large number. It's a large number. So 90 is a large number, but
listen, and how many high value men make $100,000 a year or more? It ain't a lot of single men out there making $100,000 a year.
It's like 10% or less. That number's like 10% or less. That's
exactly what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying 10%. 10% of men make $100,000 a year or more. And that's not even their standard. Their standard is, in most cases, is higher than that.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So it's an unreasonable request to say that 100% of women are trying to get less than 10% of the male population.
But
why would he choose you?
No. And here's the thing, though, and I kind of mentioned this on my Mr. Daily Insight. page, and essentially what I was saying was women. Yeah, of course you have to have these standards, right? Um, you have these standards. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. You need to come to the table with somewhat of those same standards as well, because you want all this out of a man. And with that, what you're saying is there's 10% that guy, those 10%ers, they have options. Why? Why do they have options, guys? They have options because everybody's trying to get them. They driving this nice car. They have this nice house. They have this nice portfolio. They got it going on. They look good, smell good, dress good. But guess what? They got options. So, like you say, what makes you demand all this when you're not coming to the table with half of what they have? You understand? So that's kind of, my thing with it. Come to the table with half of it. How are you going to help manage what he got going on? Are you giving him ideas? Are you making a house, a home, all these certain things? So, and I think honestly, social media has essentially created this phenomenon, as I would like to call it. So that's kind of my. Go ahead.
And listen, just to add on to what you're saying, like people got to understand, in America right now, 50.5% of the population is female, meaning it is almost 1 for 1. For every 100 women, there's 98 men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not having honest conversations about what's realistic.
And in Atlanta, y'all boys got it good. It's about 30-1 in Atlanta.
Yeah, but how many of them are looking for the women?
That's my point. That's what I'm trying
to listen. Atlanta is full of them. They listen. And I don't care who you're interested in. I don't care who you want to have sex with. The conversation is about men to women ratio and what women are looking for, right? So what I'm saying is, if there's 100 women for every 98 men, right? Or 98 men for every 100 women, here's what I know. What I know is some of the men don't qualify for the conversation because they're not interested in the woman in the first place. But what I am saying is that the ratio is not what it used to be or what it should be for women to think that they can just all attack. There's already a small portion of men that fit their needs. That's why you see a lot of these 30-plus-year-old women right now. If you're 32 years old and older and you're not married and you already have children, I don't know if you have a future of marriage in your sight. I don't know. I don't know if marriage is in your future.
Wow. Hey, listen, hold on. Listen, make sure y'all follow us. Share this video. If you're on live, share this, man. We want to bring some people on that talk some mess. We on YouTube. We on the Facebook. On I Stand On That. We on my personal page as well. Listen, guys, I want to hear some feedback. Y'all haven't been chatting up in the chat room, but we're going to get there. I want some females to chime in. I want some dudes to chime in, because this is the topic y'all be wanting to hear. So, but DA, where you at, man?
And listen, DA, I just want to say this before you chime in, because I think
he finna bring it. Yeah, he finna bring
the
it.
eyes done shrunk up on me a little bit. Here's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, listen, a lot of y'all are sitting up there, and DA know who I'm talking about, right? DA knows what I'm talking about. There's a lot of 30-plus-year-old women out there sipping wine on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Every night of the week, you sitting up there sipping wine, talking about how tired you are being a single mother. And I'm just telling you, I'm just keeping it all the way honest with you. You don't stand a high probability of finding a husband if you are currently in the situation into which you are in, where you have children, you're 30 plus. You're basically about to be a cat woman for the rest of your life. Damn. You're going to have cats running around. You got kids. And listen, most of these high value men ain't dealing with that. They are not dealing with that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But listen, I just wanted to throw that out there. DA, listen, go ahead, good brother. My bad.
I mean, I look at it from a realistic, like I'm realistic, right? And I'm realistic in terms of the actual, like, what is society producing, You know, what am I seeing from society? Now, we all know that every woman wants the best man she can get, right? So the first point I want to make is, when you hear women, so the question is, why do women get to openly require a perfect man? We understand that it's a free country, right? And part of being in this country, you have the right to say what you want, right?
Yes.
Now, in this country, when it comes to saying what you want, women have the right to say it in ways that men would get punished for saying what they want. Let's be real, right?
Mm-hmm.
So part of this question, when I see it come across the bottom of the ticker, I hope everyone is paying attention. This is I Stand on That podcast. That is, when I see that question, it tells me that, okay, we've given the mic to women to do that, period. You know? So they're the only ones on the mic really speaking when it comes to what they want. So I want to put that down. I got to lay that down because it's important for the next reason why I look at this from a realistic standpoint, and that's because most of it is capped. These women know damn well. A lot of women know damn well what they want, or know damn well what they're more than likely to get. It's not going to be what you're talking about, this 6-figure, this 7-figure, this 8-figure, this dude. Because that person is a very small portion of society, period. Let's just call a spade a spade. There's a very small portion of society that's that individual. Now, there's nuance to that because different women might come across that individual at different points in their life and not recognize that individual when they see him. And also that brother in his own right may not be his most attractive or may not even be thinking about attraction. So whereas women could see him and say that he's worthy of my attention, because there's a lot of brothers on their purpose and they're not outside. They're not outside because they're on their purpose. And they're not, and that doesn't say, oh, they're not in the women. No, they're in the women. It's just that because they're on their purpose, they busy. They literally probably are in a period of time when they're locked in trying to attain that value. Could be whatever reason, whatever path that they chose, they're just off the radar now. They're not going to be outside when you go to the club. They're not going to be in that space when you need them. But every now and then they pop outside because they can't be on their purpose forever. You can't spend every second of your life or every second of the week on your purpose because we men, right? So I don't need to talk about what happens to men over a long period of time of working, right? You get all this built up, this excess energy that you're gonna want to release. Let's keep it real. Let's be honest here.
What type of energy we talking about? So what is that male? You know, what are you trying to get into?
It's a lot of sexual energy that's coming from his pelvic region. Know what I'm saying?
Talk about it. Talk about it, Dave. I just want the viewers to know exactly what you were talking about.
But it's important because if you're a man out here, you can't tell me every second of the day you at the gym putting up shots every day, right? Yeah. So then where you find the time to be playing video games when you finally get drafted? You see what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense because there's leisure time. There's time that you're away from your purpose. And so when those sisters meet those brothers, they not connecting eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? And so that's that point. So a lot of these sisters know they're more likely to come across a guy that's not going to be that guy. Okay. And then the other thing is, because I'm really speaking on them speaking about it, being open about it, being vocal about it. And the third point that I want to raise is that, relationships are personal and they're individual. Right? They're personal and individual. And for that reason, that's why I got to disagree with the notion just because she's 32 and she got kids, she can't get a high value man, because I see this all the time. When I look at when I look at my side of the circle, there'll be brothers out here that got no kids. They got nothing. They don't got no kids. They don't got no relationship attachments. They single. And if she's bad, in their view, right, in their point of view, if she's bad, they will wipe that up because we're not going to act like stepdaddies don't exist. And I know what you want to say. We want to say that real six-figure, bro. There's a lot of here's let me break this down so that way we can be on the same page.
Talk to us.
You know, there's a lot of brothers out here, right? They may be high value in the balance sheet, but their mentality as they engage other people is low value because they have low self-esteem. And it might be controversial, but if you're a high value man out there, I'm talking about your balance sheet looks good.
So talk about the balance sheet, DH. So the viewers
I'm talking about, their assets that they got things. You know what I'm saying?
Portfolio look nice hard cards.
Yeah, they got
all that.
Everything look good.
Okay.
Wait, so hold on. Are you? Because it sounds like you. I'm asking you a question for clarity.
That's it.
Right. So, are you describing a simp right now?
You gotta let me finish. Because
I feel like you're describing a simp right now.
All right, let her finish. If
that is for people who are not aware of men and how they think, is that a lot of men see men who have all the trappings of success that get with women who have children already as simps, right? Guess what, folks? Those men exist in large numbers, okay? Be honestly, 20% of the high-value men are really no kids. A lot of the brothers that say that they high-value men, let that woman have a fat ass. Let that woman look like his dream girl. He taking the kids too. So really, this is the counter that women have. Women just don't understand what type of dude they dealing with. You got to deal with a dude that don't mind having kids. And there's brothers, if you bad, that means you got to be bad, sister. You got to be bad. You got to be bad. And you got to do what you need to do to get yourself in the gym, because there's men who will play the stepdaddy. No, not even whatever you got to do to be attractive. There will be men who will play the stepdaddy role, who got the bank roll to go with it. Do I subscribe to that philosophy? Fuck no. Fuck no. I didn't work this hard to be taking care of somebody else's kids. I want to take care of my kids.
So DA.
When my woman get pregnant, it's your first time and it's my first time. You feel me? That's how I look at the situation. You know
I want to get messy too, GA, real quick. Because I want to throw a little wrench in.
But let me know if y'all fuck with what I'm saying, though. Because there's really a lot of brothers out here that got money that will take care of another man's kids. Like, that's the truth. They out here. That's 80% of the quote-unquote high-value male. They will be stepdaddies. If she's bad.
Okay. So I heard what you said, but I want you to reconfirm what you said. So what you're saying is you won't get into that situation. She bad. She got it going on. She got everything that you're looking for. She's submissive. She everything. And she got like one kid or whatever. They got a good situation with the baby daddy. She bad, everything you want. You said you ain't taking care of, you ain't getting into that situation.
I can't do it. I can't do it, bro.
At all.
I can't do it because you know what? I know the same exists without kids.
So you ride
girl, that same type of person exists without kids. I don't believe that there's only one person for one person. You know what I'm saying? So that's my baseline. That's one of my premises. I don't believe in one for one because shit, what if you die one day? I can't fall in love with somebody else. But then that means if I did and that person's of age, that means it's more than likely that person was alive when you was alive. So that meant that there was more than one person for me while you were in existence. So it makes no sense to say that there's only one person for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, not everybody's not going to be for you. That's the main lesson that everybody got to take away from it. Everybody ain't going to be for you. And that I stand on that.
I tried to get messy, but there was like, I'm gonna reconfirm what I said. I am not getting with the woman that she's everything that I want, but she has a child.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Now there's brothers out here There's brothers out here that got the bag, and some of them, guess what? They got the bag, and they got kids, and they on good terms with their baby mama or the mother's child or the child's mother.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying? They on good terms.
So can I ask you a quick question?
You feel me? They on good terms with the moms. And guess what? They will happily co-parent and do this blended family thing. Go for blended family men.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So these men you talking about, are they bringing McDonald's for everybody, or is it just for the one family?
They bring it. Those the men that bring McDonald's for everyone. They bring McDonald's for you, your kids, your ex, your daddy.
Nah, son.
They can bring McDonald's for the dude that come over after he leave to go to work. They bring McDonald's for him too. Sometimes they like to sit in the room and watch him eat it.
Hey, who are these guys? Who are these guys?
Bro,
who are these guys? Do you know any of them personally?
This world is varied. There's a lot of unique people out here in this world.
Yeah, that's wild. But listen,
so Gary, let's just say hypothetically, years ago, same question for you. If you're in that same situation, is that your dream woman? She had a kid. Would you be inclined to get in that situation?
Mind you, you don't have kids. You don't have kids.
You wouldn't have?
I still wouldn't.
Okay.
And I got kids.
And you stand on that?
I still wouldn't. Okay. I ain't raising nobody else's kids. Listen, listen. I will tell you this. I was raised in a household where my stepfather was the closest resemblance of a father I had. Mm-hmm. Right. I will applaud any man that makes the effort to raise another man's child. Like, I think that's just like I applaud people that serve in the military.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I'm so eager to give them their flowers is because they doing something I ain't willing to do.
Straight up.
For me, it's that simple. I'm going to give you your flowers. You, as a man, you're doing something I'm not willing to do. Mm-hmm. Now I could describe it in a different way and do the same thing that DA is saying, right? Because I don't feel very different. You know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is, listen, here's what I know, right? We all know South Florida Sid, right?
Yo.
South Florida Sid is one of those dudes where I know he would never fit the definition of a simp ever. And he found a woman that already had children, right? Mm-hmm. And he stepped in, right? And he's doing his thing. Now they have a child together as well, right? But at the end of the day, she had 2 older children when he met her, right? And he had to weigh the balances. He had to weigh the scales on that to figure out what he wanted to do. He made whatever decision he made. But I just know as a man, right? And what I know about him as a man, I wouldn't quantify him as a simp, even though I understand that in most cases I would have probably said, "Nah, ain't no way," right? But that's just me. That's me.
Nah,
that's me.
And here's the thing.
And I want to say this because I don't want to make the assumption that everybody that comes across this is going to know. Dude, I've been married. I've been with my wife for 22 years. Right? I'm a 40-year-old man and I've been with my wife for 22 years. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's why part of what I was saying is if you're a woman, right, between the ages of 18 and 25, find your husband. Find your husband. If not, you're going to have a bunch of cats running around, right? You're going to have about 5 baby daddies and some cats. I don't care how bad you are. Look at all of these Instagram women out here. Look at Brittany Renner. I'm not knocking Brittany Renner. I don't even know her. What I do know is this. Visually, right? It seems like the whole world feels like visually she is one of the baddest women on the planet, right? She's been with an NBA player, I believe, right? had a baby,
perhaps multiple. I think,
and I don't believe they're still together.
No, they're not.
It didn't even last a year, I think, if I'm correct.
Right? Kim Kardashian. How many times has she been divorced?
Well, hold on. Let's stop.
No. I'm just saying. I'm talking about some of the baddest women on the planet, right?
We can't.
Based on what social.
I think I know what the point that Gary's making, because they got kids and. But go ahead. I think I know what the point that Gary's making.
I don't. You can't bring up her name. You can't bring up the Kardashians because that's a whole nother.
I'm not coming from that angle.
Okay,
I'm not coming from that angle. I went from Brittany Renner, to Kim Kardashian for a reason, right? There's a spectrum of women, right, who are physically extremely appealing, very popular, right? Got all of these men following them on social media, right?
I don't follow Kim K, but or Brittany, but go ahead.
I don't either, brother. That's not what I'm definitely not suggesting that. I don't listen. What I'm saying is just that there's some thirst traps out there. And here's what happens. When you are sitting up there and you are dating up, right? And here's what they're doing, right? They're dating these men who are athletes. You haven't been with him. You wasn't with him when he was shooting in the gym. He hasn't known you. He hasn't known you. Right?
Oh, not to cut you off. So somebody said we back. Yes, we are. So listen, hey, put the ticker up. What we talking about, baby? And then and go from there, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're back.
So here's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, listen, there's a range of women, and I don't care who you are, right? Whether you the ashy foot woman that sell popsicles down the street, right? Whether you Brittany Renner, right? Who everybody chasing you down on social media, right? I don't care who you are, right? Look at what's Stevie J's ex-wife name?
Damn it. I can't remember her name, but we
listen, but I'm just saying the spectrum, the range. All of these women are women that a lot of people would say, and I'm glad South Florida Sid chimed in. A lot of these people would say that these are women that men should want.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they are having children and getting divorced. Men are leaving their behinds right where they are. And they sitting up there, Jocelyn, thank you. Jocelyn Hernandez.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And listen, she came up.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Stevie.
Stevie. Come on, Stevie. And that's what I'm saying. They're coming up off the backs of these men that they're with, and these men are leaving them. And they're becoming single mothers.
Mm-hmm. But they're being paid.
They're buying. They haven't. Paid. But is that what they want?
Some,
or do they want a high value man?
Listen.
Right?
Listen.
They want to be married. They want to be married, lump, because they can get the money without getting married.
No, but nowadays you can do the child support, get a baby. You ain't got to go through the marriage and get the money still at the same token.
But they're not doing that. They're getting married.
But they don't have to. You got two sets of women.
But they want to, lump. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dude, these women want to be married. Nobody wants to be single, bro.
Bro, nobody wants
not for the long term. Not for the long term is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? I'm just telling you that these are high value men dumping these women and leaving them where they are because all they are is an outer shell. They look good in an Instagram photo, but they weren't raised to be a wife. They don't behave like a wife. You're not going to be a wife. You're going to be a 30-plus-year-old single woman, single mother with cats all over the house, drinking wine, talking about how bad men are. That's who you're going to be. If you don't find your man, if you don't find your husband, right, between that age of 18 and 25, while you in college or whatever, you better find that man that has the potential that you're looking for.
Oh,
and I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes you're going to swing and miss. Listen, don't think for one second that I haven't probably disappointed my wife a million times about what with the potential she felt like I had versus what I've accomplished. But that's why I'm with her, because guess what? She going to keep pushing me.
Yeah.
She going to keep pushing me.
I think it's because you love her, right? Because I think that's the biggest thing, like, right? I think people need to get back to choosing people who choose you. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's the point, and that's what these women are not doing. They're demanding the perfect man. They're asking for a unicorn that doesn't exist.
But I think we also got to be. I think, but at the same time, like it's biologically imperative for women to want who they want because they have that right to want who they want, right? Just like as men, we have the right to want who we want. You feel me? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just on both sides, right? You can want what you want, but be mindful of who wants you. You see what I'm saying? Because
hey, that's a shirt.
Yeah.
Say that again.
No, you can want who you want, but be mindful of who wants you. And I don't mean that as a negative. I mean that more so in this life. I had this conversation with G a few weeks back, and I was being completely real. I was keeping it completely real. In this life, bro, you don't have too many days, you know? And I was keeping it real with G when I said this. And he thought I was on some lovey-dovey shit, but I was just keeping it real. I was keeping it real. In this life, we don't have too many days. But so that's why it's important that you surround yourself with the people who love you. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to go to bed at night and say and think about everybody in your life and be like, I know that they have love for me. Anybody that comes across your mind that doesn't have love for you, you gotta ask yourself, one, why are you thinking about this person? And if that person, you're thinking about this person because that person is close to you, then why are they close? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna keep it real. I think we give ourselves stress and heartache and pain chasing people who don't want us and not recognizing the people who in front of us who's saying, I choose you. Because when you're in front of a person that says, I choose you, you don't feel the anxiety of having to be perfect because you're perfect already. You perfect already. You know what I'm saying?
DA with the bar.
Hey, hold on one second. Hold on one second. One time for DA. Hold on one second. Hold on. Yes. 1 second.
We gotta hey, DA dropping the bars right quick. Hold on, baby. Hold on. We got South Florida see it. What he trying? The next generation of couples will be less tolerant of BS than our generation. I think you're right, South Florida said.
But that's and that's okay. South Florida said, you know why that's okay? Because I heard someone say this the other day, and I've been saying it to other people recently, and is that you shouldn't have to work hard to be with you don't have to be with. You know, I don't have to work hard to be with people I just have. Waterfalls.
G-Man for this one. Jesus Christ, bro.
But I really feel that way. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to work hard to be with people that you don't have to be with. So since I don't have to, like, if I'm at a job and I don't have to be at the fucking job, why am I working hard to stay at the job? Like, no. If you don't like it, leave. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in a relationship with someone and you don't like the relationship, you can leave.
Leave or work on it. Either one.
Why are you? But again, I'm trying to say this. Why are we working hard? Why it got to be hard for someone that we don't have to be with? You don't have to be with that person. There's no law that ordained that declares that you have to be with that person. So when we put that in that framework, you know what I'm saying? You should be, if you chose the person.
Listen, but DA. So are you suggesting that the only relationships you should be in are the easy ones?
That's what I was okay.
Why should you?
I'm just asking. I want to know for clarity.
Yeah, your relationship should not be hard. Like, would it make sense? Listen. As friends, does it make sense for us to we working hard on our friendship?
Yes. The shit that, bro. Let me tell you this.
What I mean.
Let me tell you this. This across the board, right? This is across the board. If you in some shit, like, and my homeboy Torian, right? We would talk. He was down here, Alabama boy, came down, got me to playing arena football or whatever. Say, hey man, I know you about to hang your cliques up. He's like, listen,
before you do,
before y'all do, come out there. I played out there, whatever. It was fun and everything. But listen, and he got down here. We had like a mini reunion. This is last week. He drove down, him and his beautiful family came down. I said, remember that time we got into it? I said, was it worth us getting? He said, nah, man, it wasn't worth it. And we worked at it. You know what I mean? We both said, you know what? We value our friendship. So let's work on this. And we, you know what I mean? We, you know, going at it instead of shit like that's what I mean. If it's worth it, yeah, work at it. But if it's not, all right, let it go. And we shouldn't work at this. It should be easy. But in that situation, come on, bro. Like stuff gonna be hard. If it's worth having, it's gonna be difficult, my guy.
But I think
if it's worth having, it's gonna be difficult.
You answered the question though, because y'all still chose each other. Y'all still chose each other. Y'all still said, I still, because if I heard G say this was something one time, I don't know what the context was, but I heard something like, I choose you every day, or I choose you every night.
Yeah.
Something like, G said some stuff like that. I don't remember when he said it, but I just remember it coming from him. And I'm like, yo, bro, like that's how it's supposed to be. If you chose her and she chose you, it shouldn't be hard. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you start feeling like you ain't being picked no more, all right, then there's going to be some decisions that got to be made. You know what I mean?
So, South Florida said, I think a relationship should be as easy as possible for the partner who is the breadwinner.
I agree. I agree. Especially the breadwinner. If anybody working hard, it's going to be the person that got to just not the breadwinner. God damn, you working hard, you bringing money to the home, to the table, and you still being treated like shit. God damn, that sounds like slavery, bro. Like you making all the money, but you still getting treated like shit. God damn.
Listen, and here's what I would say. I actually agree with the sentiment, right? I agree with the sentiment. I definitely agree with the sentiment. But here's what I would say. What's real, right? And here's what stress is. Stress is the gap between reality and your expectations. Right? Mm-hmm. So when you can reduce the gap between reality and your expectations, then you reduce your stress. Right? And the reality is, unfortunately, we all have our own perspective. We all look at life through our own set of lenses, right? Mm-hmm. And so my lenses are curated by my experiences and the things that I've been through, right? My wife has a different set of lenses. And the other thing that helps curate your lenses is your values. And not everybody values money as much as the other person, right? Because here's what happens. If I'm not the person that's the breadwinner, what you're not going to do is minimize what I believe my contributions to be. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm not the breadwinner, I'm going to now increase the importance and the value of the things that I'm bringing to the table. And so I agree, right, that at the end of the day, I believe that what you have to do is, first of all, find yourself in a relationship where the contributions are as even as possible, right? Whether it's money, whether it's, taking care of the house and the kids, whatever those contributions are, right? Here's what I'm saying. There's no way that we can be in a relationship and be unequally yoked and find success, right? Mm-hmm. But the other thing is we have to do a good job as partners to tell each other, listen, here's what your expectations of me should be. Because once again, remember what I said. The stress is the gap between expectations and reality. And when you can close that gap, you can reduce your stress. The reason why so many people are stressed out, to me, the reason why so many people are stressed out, and I went main screen on this, is because they walk into these relationships with fucked up expectations. Not only just about what you expect from someone else, but your expectations of who you are and what you bring to the table. Don't ever get it twisted. We can all be humble. We can all fucking be humble. which is why we should all be on some servant leader shit, right? Meaning, whether I think I am doing all of the work or not, I want to serve my husband, right? Whether I'm paying all the bills or not, I still want to serve my wife, but I don't ever want to be unequally yoked where I feel like I'm giving all of the work, I'm giving all of the money, I'm doing all of the work, and it ain't nothing equal there, right? And because sometimes you could just be the face of the money, right? But the money making moves could be pillow talk. Right? If the queen might be the one telling you what to do so you can make the right move. Listen, Bruno Mars is front and center, right? When it comes to this bitch got me paying the rent. Right? Listen, he's loud up front, but Anderson .Paak was writing the lyrics. So they equally yoked, right? Execution. There's ideation and there's execution. And understand that when purpose and opportunity meet, when preparation and opportunity meet, that's when you find success. And so I'm just saying there's layers to that shit, especially in relationships. But the biggest key to me, if you really want to be in a relationship that lasts, establish realistic expectations, right? And then that way you can reduce the gap between expectations and reality, which reduces stress, which will reduce arguments and all that other shit. But you got to start to do the work. And you got to understand and be realistic about your relationship. Some people think they do more than what they really do, bro. Some people think they're more important than they really are. So self-acceptance and knowledge of self and self-awareness, self-reflection, these are keys, bro. These are major keys. Like, I wish I could do something. I wish I could do something to just bring that out there. Actually, I think I'm writing a book called 4 Seasons that's going to talk to these people about some of this stuff. But that's a shameless plug. 4 Seasons novel out there. It's coming soon. But I'm just saying, in general, we got to start to have more realistic and honest conversations. And here's what happens. You know why I fuck with y'all? The reason why I rock with South Florida Sid, the reason why I mess with I ain't gonna say her government, you know what I'm saying? But I rock with Jay, I rock with Lump, I rock with DA. And the reason why is because those are my accountability partners. Those are the people that I expect to say, Gary, no, brother, you're fucking up. But you can only do that if I'm keeping it a buck with you about my life and what's really happening. Right? So be accountable for yourself so your accountability partners can hold you accountable, right? I can't tell you how many times I've called South Florida Sid and been like, listen, bro, please help me understand. Because I'm not getting it, bro. I need somebody to help me understand. And sometimes that's the only way to get where I'm trying to be, right? So all I'm saying is the first step to being in a successful relationship is understand who the hell you are, bro. Understand what you really bring to the table. Right? If all you are is a pretty face, BBD said a long time ago, that's poison. Listen, ain't no what Nas said. No idea is original. Everything's been done before. We are reliving our own past, right? And so I'm just in a place where I'm just saying, listen, let's keep it real with these people out here, right? Some of y'all are walking around, and that's why the topic started with, why do imperfect women get to openly require the perfect man? Because they're not being realistic with themselves about who they are and what they are. Right? So the first step is know who you really are. If you will pick me, you will pick me. If you a simp, you a simp. Right? So GA talked about them simps earlier.
Yes, sir. So what you standing on, my G?
What am I standing on?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm standing on something real simple. Don't even look for a relationship if you ain't figured you out yet. Once you figure you out, then you know what you need to look for in a partner. And then understand that you're in a partnership, which means you got to put in this work. And so here's what I agree with DA on. If it feels too difficult, you shouldn't do it. But here's what I agree with you on, Mr. Daily Insight. It won't feel so difficult when you want to do it.
All right. Okay, that's it. Effortless.
So I stand on that.
Okay. So, and I'm gonna stand on what I said earlier when it comes to if it's worth having, you got to put some type of work in. Whether if it's to the fact to where nothing's working, DA, all right, well, all right, we tried it, we did counseling, we did this. All right, well, this, and every day I come home and I don't feel comfort, I don't feel how I should feel when I come home, which is like a king or that queen. You know what I mean? All right, deuces, chalk it, we out of here. But I'm gonna stand on you have to put some type of work in for it to happen. So that's what I stand on.
So Mr. Daily Insight, are you trying
Yes,
to
sir.
say that relationships are a hard road?
Hard road, shameless plug. Listen, you got to put some type of work in, and then honestly, back in the days, grandma and grandpa them, they went through hell and back, but they stayed together. All this, oh, one little, oh, well, you ain't paid the rent on time. Oh, I'm divorcing you. You know, shit like that. That's what this new age is up against. They ain't tolerate nothing. Like somebody said earlier. You know what I mean? South Florida said say so, but I'm old school. Let's work at it. Let's make it happen. So, DA, what you standing on?
You know, I still stand on choose who choose you. Choose who choose you. And because when you choose who choose you, you're not fighting for what you're not having these conversations, right? And like I told somebody the other day, when you're feeling good, you're not thinking about feeling bad. And when you're feeling bad, you're not thinking about feeling good. You see what I'm saying? Because you're in that moment, right? And if you're in a space where you're not feeling as if you're not being chosen, then you're not being chosen. And you need to choose who choose you, you know, because they won't feel how you feel if you do it the right way.
Well, listen, before we go though, I do want to, listen, can y'all give me 5 minutes? Because I really want to ask this question, which is, listen, do you guys believe that the older you get, the more you and your partner have less in common? And that is straight from the comments, straight from South Florida said, right? Definitely, I'm confident that Jam Master Jay, you know, the other half of that couple is there as well. The older you get, the more you and your partner have less in common. Listen, I will start by saying this, right? Growth is real, right? And so is like the lack thereof. You get what I'm saying? And so what I would say when it comes to that is this. I do believe that in a large majority of cases, couples grow apart, right? They grow in different directions. One thing I know is that when I was first with my wife, right? I was 18, 19 years old. I'm not the same person. I can tell you honestly that my wife has told me more than once, like sometimes I don't even know who you are. Mm-hmm. Right. And listen, I can tell you I've also been the guy that said, yeah, I ain't 19 no more. Right. And that's not in any way, shape, or form to minimize my wife or the relationship. Listen, I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep my wife and my relationship intact. But here's what happens. Every day I get up and go to work and do something very different than what my wife does. And if I don't find a way to include her in that growth, then I'm growing separately. I'm growing away because she's growing in a different direction. And if she doesn't find a way to include me in her growth, then we're going to grow separately. That's why having those conversations every day or once a week or whatever, finding a way to schedule that time. I can tell you right now, my wife tells me all the time, I spend more time with a cigar than I do with her, right? Because I'm stressed out coming from work. Look, I got to smoke. Let me smoke before I talk to you because I don't want to bring negative energy. But that's that energy, that's that discipline, that's that thing that you got to do at times to make a relationship work. So, yes, I do believe that without work, you will definitely grow apart and have less and less in common. I also think that what happens is, and you guys can correct me where I'm wrong, but in my opinion, I also think that one of the things that happens is You just want different things, right? And that also contributes to having less in common, right? Because when you're both young, you both want to make money and you both want kids, right? When you get older, that woman still wants something like that. That man is like, man, shit, I just want a motorcycle, a cigar, and a good time and a glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's what I believe.
All right, I'll go next here. So, G man, you hit on a lot of points when it comes to going apart. You know, and one of the conversations that you know that are had most of the time with me is more so once a week, twice a month, whatever the case may be. Listen, you know, where your mind at? You know, what are you thinking? You still down the same path? You know, you're thinking about something different. You want the same. You know, you always have to have those conversations, G, like you say, to say to yourself, you know what, next month, next year might be something different. But I always have that gut check. You know what I mean? That reminder, hey, we still on the same page. All right, cool. You know what I mean? Because as you mentioned, G-Man, as we evolve, which we should, because if we're not evolving, we might not want anything. We might want to stay the same. But if we're evolving, that thought process might be different. It might change. You know what I mean? So I think I disagree with just having those conversations. Communication is very key. Is always a thing to where it's cliche. Communication is key. Communication is key, but it is. But if you're not effectively communication and being honest about your communication, guess what? You're going to create that confusion. So that's what I'm standing on.
Stand on it then, brother. Listen, I'm sitting up here chuckling because I can't wait for DA to do whatever he finna do.
I think you brothers going to appreciate this one. I think you brothers going to appreciate this. I think the audience is going to appreciate it too, because I'm just going to use this as an illustration for that question. And I want to once again shout out to South Florida Sid for that great question, right? Because for me, I think that it's only right that you grow the older you get. And granted, I'm in a new relationship, but I would imagine that in this relationship, it's a process of discovery for me because I still don't know who you are all the way, right? So I'm going to know more about you every day I continue to spend with you, and you're going to do the same for me. So last night, I went on a date with my girlfriend, right? So we went to go to this thing called Paint and Sip. You know what I mean? Every time, you know, and people know me, know that I'm a bit of an artsy-fartsy type of dude sometimes.
Did you say painting simps?
No, paint and sip.
Okay. I was about to say, so you painting simps?
Nah. And so we were working on a piece, right? And so I'm gonna show you the piece right here, right? So if you see it, if you can see it, you see a tree, right? And it has all these cherry blossoms or whatnot, and you see this branch right over here. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is an L and that is an O, right? Right. So you can imagine that the other piece of work that go with this is her piece. Her piece is another tree, right? And it has the V and the E attaching to another tree. You know what I'm saying? So collectively, it's supposed to say what? Love, right? And so last night, while we're doing this, she remarked and she said, your tree doesn't look like mine. And because her tree is similar to mine, but it's different because she used more whites and more pinks to flesh out her tree. And I said, that's because we are different trees, but we're coming together just like this painting. That's what we are. Our trees are supposed to be different. They're supposed to be different because that's what's bringing us together, that difference. But at the same time, it's that we look good once you see the LOV coming together. It looks good, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like in these relationships, we are two different people. You know, we come into the world with our own soundtrack. We come into the world with our own understanding, our own cultural set points, right? When we come out the hospital and we walk and we're in the crib, the TV shows that we both see when we're young are different, you know, and all these things shape us into two different whole beings, right? But that's the beauty of it, right? Two different people coming together in a relationship. And so it's and I think that's the beauty of it, because I think any trying to like forcing sameness, forcing, oh, I'm wearing pink, you wearing pink, I'm, you know, all that, I think that shit is not natural. You know what I'm saying? Unless that's what you're into. But generally speaking, we're supposed to feel like two different medleys that come together and gives a unique sound. Because if this relationship is over, there'll never be another relationship like this. Not between us, and it won't be replicated between anybody else that you would go with, because they're going to be a different song, and I'm going to go with somebody, and that's going to be a different song. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I brought that illustration out, because it's like, I think that was a great question to bring out that painting.
Very nice.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, man, you already know how this thing goes down, right? Listen, at the end of the day, I think this is the perfect time for everybody to just go ahead and give a final thought. Tell us what you're gonna stand on. It'd be great if we can get back to giving a final I stand on it for the original question, which is, why do imperfect women get to openly require the perfect man, right? And so I'll go ahead and I'll ask Mr. Daily Insight to start us off with his final I stand on that. And then DA, we'll let you chime in next after that.
Again, I kind of just touch on it, and I'm gonna be real simple with it. I think society, social media, what you see online, what people post, is giving women that kind of, that sense of entitlement. You know, well, it's fine. You know, a guy can pick me up. I'm not doing anything, and you know, he can buy my house, take me on trips, do all this, and I don't have any requirements. It's just a phenomenon. Just like you mentioned, Brittany Rayner. You know, I'm not hating on her or anything like that, but you know, yeah, you probably been doing your own thing, but you want of that certain status when you got with these athletes, in my opinion. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other women that are doing the same thing. I could work at Burger King, you know, come up with a millionaire basketball player, football player, be in that setting, get pregnant. All right, I'm doing my thing. And those are my expectations moving forward. You know what I mean? I could be imperfect and still get that 10% individual. So I think society / social media has kind of created this phenomenon, and you see it on social media on the posts all the time. You know what I mean? From here to here, you know, within a few months, a year, whatever the case may be. So social media, that's what I stand on.
You know what?
Stand on it then.
You know what? I stand on, you know, why do women, you know, I stand on the fact that this is the best chance, that's the best chance they got. You know what I mean? Just, you know, shoot for the moon, you know, and if you fall, you land amongst the stars. You know what I'm saying? And life is random like that, right? And if you work all the factors in your favor, you might come out on top. So I think that it's more so shoot for the moon, you land amongst the stars, and I can't knock them for shooting for the moon.
I hear you, good brother. Listen, here's what I boy, listen, man. I really got something I want to say, and I'm trying to just find the right words for it. But I will say this. Let me start with this, and I'm gonna be brief so we can give everybody back the rest of their life. Very, very simply stated, DA mentioned something earlier. He was talking about it, and he said, listen, you could do what you want to do. You could ask for what you want. You could do whatever it is that you want to do. It doesn't mean that you're going to mess around, and it doesn't mean that you're going to mess around and get what you're asking for, right? So if I'm going to stand on anything, I want to start with this. I want to make a recommendation to all of the women and men between the ages of 18 and 25, maybe 30, if I'm going to go there, and just say, find your husband, find your wife now. Because listen, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be 30 plus. You're going to be a baby mama. You're going to be the mother of somebody's child. I don't care how much money they make. It's not the life that you really want to live. You don't want to be a rich, wealthy baby mama. That's really not the life that you want. Like, I'm going to tell you that the best thing you could do is, if you're in college and you're 18 to 25, right, getting a master's, whatever you're doing, find your spouse. Don't wait. You're going to be a cat woman. You're going to have babies. Your life is going to suck. Like, you're going to be one of these women that we hear on TV and on the internet talking about how men ain't shit, right? Men ain't shit, right? I just told you I've been with my wife 22 years. I'm 40 years old. All men ain't the same. We ain't all built the same. There's a very small population of us that you guys actually should want to be with, and that's real. But I do believe that there's somebody for everybody. You just got to be realistic about who you are, and then finding the person that matches the energy, right? Unfortunately,
it's the people
right?
that's choosing them.
Shaq is one guy, right?
Yeah.
Kobe was one man. Nipsey Hussle was one man. Kendrick Lamar is one man. J. Cole is one man. Jay-Z is one man. All of these people that you guys see out here that are establishing the highlight reel for you, right? Because that's what social media is.
Stop. Highlight reel. Hey, remember, guys, social media is nothing just for, it's honestly just for entertainment purposes only, business purposes only. So why do you guys look at that? So some people, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to let you finish. I saw somebody, right? They didn't live in this house. They went to somebody's house. There was some cars lined up. Clearly that they're not from that neighborhood. Started taking pictures in front of some other people's house for what? Social media, for the gram, highlights. So that's the whole thing, guys. People live this live on social media, but guess what? You know, they live in the worst circumstances ever. You know what I mean? But that's what y'all want to emulate. It's not
segue.
What it is. So go ahead.
That's the segue, right? That's the segue, because you got these guys that establish the highlight reel, and every woman thinks that they want that life, right? Here's the other reality, right? Just as much as those men are leaving behind these 30-year-old baby mamas, the women are leaving the men too. Because guess what? Not every man that makes a lot of money is a man worth being with either. Right? And so understanding who you are, what you want in a relationship, finding somebody to match the appropriate energy, that's what you need to be focused on. And like I said, you need to be doing this between the ages of 18 and 25. Right?
And we gotta be
Sonia Richardson. She found her husband, which was the football player, played for the Giants. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's a track star. And they talked about that. She said, all my friends, they didn't find their love yet. They're still single and still trying to figure it out. Where she found hers high school/college, and they've been with each other for the longest. So it goes back to your point, GA, what you just talked about. Find them now versus later. So
she's married to a football player, right?
Yes.
Okay. But I just got to say something to Gary, because your criteria, that age range is a very strict criteria. And I know we're trying to wrap this thing up.
Yes.
But Jesus Christ, 18 to 25?
Well, listen. Let me clarify. No, I know exactly what I said. Brother, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying,
let me focus on the area that gives me concern.
But hold on,
25 is just 3 years out of undergrad if you went to college.
Yep, absolutely. And so here's what I know. And here's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Here's what I'm saying. The probability, right? I'm not a math guy. I was an English major, but I do understand the term probability, right? Probability of you finding a long-term spouse after you hit 27, the numbers drop drastically. Right? That's why you see a lot of these. Listen, and here's what I'm telling you. There's a lot of very attractive people, men and women, out there with kids, right? Single parents or weekend daddies, whatever it is that you want to call, right? Now, I see the comment by Miss Panton, right? People who get married before 25 have the highest divorce rates.
That's what
I do believe. No, but here's what I do believe. I genuinely believe that, listen, the key is, what did I say? Find somebody that matches your energy, right? At the end of the day, people can still choose wrong, right? And she said the sweet spot is between 28 and 32. Notice when I was talking earlier, what I said was between 18 and 27. I said after 27, I think the probability drastically drops. But here's what I think. At 28 to 32, I do believe that you're mature enough and you have figured who you are out, right? And so maybe that is the sweet spot for some people, right? I'm saying this. If you wait until after 30 to get married, I think that the probability that you're going to be a cat woman with a bunch of babies and no husband is real. And eventually you're going to have to settle for somebody you don't want to be with. And, that's just the reality.
That's what Joyanne is saying. That's what the point that I wanted to illustrate, because from 25 to 26 is the point where your brain is about to be fully developed. Meaning that before that point, your brain is not even fully developed.
But I know that. And my point is this, though. If you wait until your brain is fully developed, if you wait until you've reached your, here's where I am and all of that, that might be too late. That's all I'm telling you.
No, I feel you, but I would say, I think 25 to 28, or with, let's say, Joyanne's number, with 32 being the highest number, is where you want to be playing basketball. That's where I said basketball. Is where you want to be playing ball. That's listen, and if you're in that range, you need to be looking at the dudes in particular who are in the market for wives, and they're going to be several years older than you,
and that's going to be a very small pool of people. That's all I'm saying. That's going to be. Here's what happens. Listen, the average woman that you see right now talking about these topics, and I'm not going to say every woman because I don't know every woman, right? But I'm saying that the average woman that you hear talking about these topics, right? Here's what they're asking for. They're asking for a man who's established, who has a great salary, who has no kids, right? They're asking for a unicorn. You're not going to find a fully developed unicorn for sale. Unicorns don't go on sale. You got to buy them before you even realize it's a unicorn.
But that's what I'm saying. Can you really knock Kim K? That's why when you use Kim K and Brittany,
I didn't knock anybody. I just used her as an example to say that as a woman who everybody would perceive to be very attractive woman, she already had her own money just based on her family lineage, right? And still, her reach has extended her grasp. She can't hold on to a man.
Yeah, but she still walked away with the other things that she wanted, right? She still got kids. She also have, You think that
she wanted to have kids without a husband?
What's that again?
You think she wanted to have kids without a husband?
I don't think so. I think it goes.
So she didn't walk away with what she wanted. She's single.
No, I mean, she wanted to marry.
That's why she jumped straight into a train wreck relationship with Pete Davidson, a guy who openly talks about killing himself. He's one of the most fragile men I've ever met in my life. I've never met him. He's one of the most fragile men I've ever seen.
Nah,
she doesn't want to be alone.
Maybe we should pick up on the Pete Davidson like another. I want to talk on that situation on another cast.
And we will, because Pete deserves more than a one-liner. I'm not Kanye. I ain't trying to bury him, but I'm just saying. Listen, I know we got to wrap this up. And listen, I wish Ms. Panton had joined the pod a little sooner. Yeah. But listen, I am actually going to say this, Ms. Panton. If you'd like to actually ever be a panelist, I'm inviting you to participate in one of our chats. Right. I'm not sure how you got connected to the I Stand On That podcast. We don't need to know that on the air right now. I'm
Not
sure
at
we'll
all.
figure it out. But what
We
I'd
will.
love to do is just listen. I would love to hear a female voice, and I'm with it, right? Listen, and I genuinely believe. Oh, don't do that. Don't cover it up. Listen, you already brought the heat. You brought the heat. So here's what I would say. Let me take the glasses off. I don't know who you are, right? I appreciate the input, and I will say this. I would love to have a conversation with anybody that's open to having a conversation. I genuinely believe, just based on the context of your conversation, the fact that you write full sentences, you're an intelligent person, right? You've been through some things in your life and you've overcome those things. And that's the type of people that we need to know. And those are the type of people we need to talk to. So you can continue to be a spectator if that's your preference. But I'm just throwing it out there because I want you to understand that we appreciate what you bring to the table, right?
Well, it's a lot,
So don't
yeah.
cover them up. Don't cover them up.
Open them
We
up.
want to see you. But listen, here's what I will say. Listen, we've already stood on what we stood on, and I don't want to ever let it go without Lump being on video. But here's what I will say. It was a great show. It was a great opportunity to grab some content and just talk about a relationship topic. Mr. Hard Road, Mr. Very Deep Eyes, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Daily Insight, Mr. I Am Four Seasons novel coming soon. Check us out, for previews on IG. But at the end of the day, season 3 is coming soon. I promise you will see the growth, you will see the progression. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna see us be a lot more vocal and honest about a whole lot of topics. You know what I'm saying? And then shout out to Eric Shelton Photography. If y'all get a chance to go check him out, man, check out his page. His photos are phenomenal.
Hey, listen, boy, listen, y'all, listen, Linda, listen, y'all go check him out. You know what I mean? We're gonna have him on. We're gonna do him a podcast too. You know what I mean? Broadcasting what he does and the work he's been doing around the city, around Orlando, where he's from, Boston. So, man, he's one of the best photographers I've come into contact with. So he's doing great things, guys. So y'all be sure. Hey, drop your IG on here as well, man, so we can let the people know where to find you.
But listen, I'll let everybody else say their final words. But I just want to leave the people with one thing, and that is, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We didn't even advertise this, y'all. Real talk. This was actually us just experimenting with the new platform, right? We just wanted to see what it looked like, make sure that we know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Wanted to make sure that what we bring to the table when we do resume is going to be solid and it's going to be quality, and that we're not shorting you guys on an experience. And so here's what we are going to do. I just want you guys to know we are an LLC, right? This is business. I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man.
That's right.
So we are an LLC. We are looking for people who want to be panelists and join the show. We want to interview people. We want to highlight what people are doing in the community, and we want to accept your donations so that we can constantly get greater. So that's just where we are. Here's what I want to do. I want to stand on the fact that we have grown. This is all new, because just like any other kind of growth in life, you can't be prepared for it because it's new. So there will be growing pains, but as long as you continue to grow with us, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy with it. And it's the same thing in relationships, right? We were asked earlier about growing apart. I don't want you to grow apart. I want you to grow with us. That's why we're being transparent. We letting you see everything. You know what I'm saying? And listen, there's 3 viewers left, right? There's 3 viewers left, and we still gonna give y'all the best we got, because I don't care if it's 1 or 0, right? Look forward to the content coming soon, man. I Stand on That podcast has returned. Season 3. Let's get it.
Oh, listen, also, guys, we're gonna have a venue. Well, we have a venue. We're gonna be going live. We're gonna have people coming in doing shirt giveaways. Y'all not gonna want to miss it, man. So honestly, Go to
Pool
I Stand on
parties.
That. Yes, pool parties, all type of stuff. Go to I Stand on That.
BBQs.
BBQs on IG and follow. We have a Beacons page, which is our actual. It's like Linktree, so it's gonna have all type of community updates, things that's going on. Y'all just make sure y'all follow that page. It's on IG, and make sure y'all follow us on YouTube as well. We're trying to get to this 50 so we can go live there as well. So to give y'all what y'all need, man. So y'all help us out.
Subscribe, man.
All
Subscribe.
that good
Stop
stuff.
playing.
Listen,
Hey,
TikTok
DA, give
is
them a
something.
final word.
Yes, indeed.
You're muted, brother. I can't hear you.
It's a pleasure to be back. It's a pleasure to hear everybody voices. It's also a pleasure to hear everybody's views. And so, folks, we are here. We ain't going nowhere. Check us out. Follow our pages, our individual pages, but follow the main pages. I Stand on That podcast. We're on IG, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Get to following us soon. Now, tomorrow, yesterday, get it done.
There it is.